this is the worst kept secret. Like, we've known this is gonna happen for a long time. Harmonix recently came out, they've announced Rock Band 4 is happening, but we actually got to play this one, which we still haven't seen with Rock Band. We don't know what's gonna be different about that. Guitar Hero is really taking things in a pretty different direction with their guitar itself. Like, it is not laid out with this traditional 5-button layout. You have 3 keys on the bottom and 3 keys on the top, and at first, like, I remember looking at that and going, this is gonna be way too simple. You have 3, and like, it's 6 total, but just either on top or on the bottom. Like, this layout seems really easy, but it's not.
Yeah, and I mean, and keep in mind also, right? Like, there's no more like high neck moves at all. Like, your hand's just in one place, and it makes sense. They were pretty adamant about, like, you know, this is the future, right, for Guitar Hero. And one of the main kickers as far as like the layout is like power chords, or like actually holding down a finger and doing combinations that way.
Now you have a 3-button layout, but because it's a 2x3 grid, you're actually making makeshift chords. The strumming is the same system, it's just the click for beat. They still come down the neck the exact same, but the idea of kind of creating chords now changes it up a bit.
I literally felt my brain breaking inside my head, but once you get it, once you understand it, and for me it took like about halfway through the song, like, it just clicks and it feels really good. It's really fun and challenging in a very different way. And like, because sometimes your hand doesn't, I wouldn't say it feels like you're making chords, but the configuration makes you think enough that it feels fresh again. And what they're also trying to change up is that experience of stepping out on stage. Like, when you're playing Rock Band, you're always staring at avatars that you created, or Guitar Hero as well. Like, they just had pre-made avatars, kind of. I mean, there's not a lot you can do with that. The focus is on the music. And in this way, I think they're trying to make you feel like you're actually in the band. You're in the crowd. You're seeing it from the first-person perspective of a guitar player. You're looking out at the crowd. Even at the beginning, like, I was also skeptical of when they were like, we're trying to get that stage fright feeling. Like, no, you do feel it a little bit when you're walking out with the rest of your bandmates and you see like hundreds of people, thousands of people spread out before. You're like, oh, this is a little bit intimidating.
Yeah, changing the perspective is a huge, huge change. This is the first time that you're actually, to me, ever interested in looking at the backgrounds. Before, when we used to play with your little punk avatars, I didn't like looking at them, I didn't care. Now, you're a little bit more interested to see the crowd. I will admit, I found the intros a little overdone, and I was already, by the second time, hoping that they would have a skip button. They're a little long and drawn out, and I don't really care about pretending that much that I am this rock star. But it does give you that feeling. It gives you the butterflies in your stomach that you're going out on stage and you're about to perform in front of a very large audience.
And you have the band that's playing along with you. Like, they're actors, they're not like an actual band, but each one is synced to play with you as if they're a real band. And when you start to fuck up, they boo you. They're like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah. Like, there's a steady cam, and they basically play the song once for the good and then once for the bad. So then, like, basically intercut that. Like, if you're doing poorly, it's going to shift to the bad version of the cut that they have.
Yeah, there's kind of like a dream sequence of, and then it strips over to like, oh, everything's shitty.
You're not looking at those backgrounds. Nobody is looking at those backgrounds. You're focusing on the neck of the guitar and the chords you're about to play. But it doesn't mean that people around you don't appreciate it, and if you do catch a glimpse of it during a break of a song, it's interesting to see it, and I find it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more dynamic when I'm playing the game, so I thought that was pretty cool.
But the entire basis of a game like this is all about the music. Like, if it doesn't have good music, it's not going to work. So Rock Band, I think, has a pretty good idea for what they're doing. All of the songs that you've ever downloaded are going to work on Rock Band 4. With Guitar Hero, they never really had that same passionate fan base who are just like constantly buying songs. So they're taking a kind of interesting approach with this, with something called Guitar Hero Live. So there are going to be songs that work on the disc, and we saw some of those. They're each going to have that band that's built into them. But in terms of DLC, instead of making you purchase individual songs, apparently you're going to be able to tune into channels and select songs as they're playing. They're really unclear about how the monetization on that's going to work, though, which is a little bit scary, but we'll probably hear some more about that at E3. But there are going to be some free channels and there are going to be some premium channels.
Basic cable and then premium for those really interested in music subscribers.
How they explained it was, yeah, you can do on demand. You can pick a song and just start off and playing it. Instead of the first person perspective as the campaign or single player, it's straight up the music video, official music video for that song. So you can either start on demand, or as these channels kind of like lined up, was you just hop in and there are the other players on the left and who's doing the best. It's kind of like a fight to get to the top type of competitive play as far as like the channel system goes.
Yeah, it's also fascinating when we're talking about monetization and how we're going to be paying for this game, is that they have a pretty interesting model for just buying the basic standard game itself. And it sounds like it's going to be not only on the platforms that you would expect, it will be a mobile game, standalone, and apparently you just plug it into your TV and play it no different than you would as if you bought it on Xbox One.
Yeah, Activision has experience with doing something really similar with Skylanders, where there is a base game, it has a peripheral. In Skylanders' case, it's what you plug your little character into. In Guitar Hero's case, it's going to be the guitar, but the game is going to be the same price no matter what. You're basically paying for the hardware. I don't know if people are going to feel the same way about buying an iPad or a mobile version of the game as they do about a PS4 version, though. Like, I think that might be a point of contention. When you look on the store shelf and you go, well, is it going to be $60 whether I buy the PS4 version or whether I buy the iPad version? That might be a little bit of a trial.
So unfortunately, no matter how many of these sweet, dusty guitars you have in your basement or closet, you do not get to take them out because you will have to buy the new guitar in addition to the new game. But do you think that this setup is something that kind of sells it for you a little bit?
I never got rid of my guitars. They're still sitting in my basement. So when Rock Band announced like all your DLC is going to work, all of your old guitar hardware is going to work, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't have to buy all of this new stuff. The thing that's a bigger break for me is that it's only guitar.
It is called Guitar Hero. I mean, it's funny, like you'd think, maybe even just bass, like you could add in. I mean, it wouldn't be that much different, just like single notes, but yeah, I thought it was pretty great. I think what really like turned me on was, for the live mode, was putting up a music video. Like, even if you don't even want to play Guitar Hero, you could still kind of enjoy it for that manner. Like, the avatars were kind of like hokey and repetitive, but now you get like an actual music video, and I think that was cool. As far as like a party aspect, like that really sits well.
Yeah, having that music video playing in the background, just people can come up and pick up a guitar, and the way the channels work of just kind of being able to hop into a song.
I think it's always contingent on the music to me, and they are going to hold out, I believe, until E3 to release that sweet list.
Guitar Hero and Rock Band are the games that introduced me to so many bands and songs that I didn't even know about until then. So I'm also just excited to have a game that's going to introduce me to new music. That yeah. I feel like it kind of opens me up to experiences I haven't had before.
It could happen. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I think it's time to get back to work.
Yeah, gotta start practicing again.
Practice. Right.
Especially you, Rob.